Hello, today is Wednesday, May 12th, and today is probably the most different day in terms of exercise selection compared to last block. Starting off with these power jerks, moved on to a hang clean single and split jerk, and then some clean deadlifts, but without that 6-second eccentric, and then rows, and then overhead holds. And today was not bad, but was not good either. It definitely had sort of its ups and downs. One of the downs was certainly these power jerks. I don't know. I used to definitely have more confidence in the power jerk compared to the split jerk, and was also better at the power jerk than the split jerk. That might have been because I don't know, my power jerk was particularly good, or that my split jerk was particularly bad. Maybe a combination of both. But at some point, maybe it was relatively recent. I'll say that it was. At some point, I think my ability level in the split jerk overtook that of the power jerk. But maybe I don't know, maybe that confidence aspect is not there yet, or at least was not there yet until this, because I went into the power jerks with the expectation that I'm better at them than the split jerk. And then here, this warm-up of 215, I definitely felt my elbows bend and then sort of push. And so I was like, okay, that was what the fuck do you call it? Why can't I remember what it's called? A press out. And then, so here's the first set of my power jerks at 225. The first one is sort of, honestly, a lot of these, I just don't really know what to call them, in terms of if it was a make or not. I mean, this second one was clearly a make because I couldn't hold on to it, but the first one was just, the elbows were so sketchy. And then same thing here, both of these reps. I feel like I'm just sort of doing that thing, that I do often, of just sort of trying to wedge myself underneath. I don't know what that was, but I'm trying to think about pushing up against the bar and sort of not just driving myself under it. Sorry for the language. But I don't know, it just kept happening where I just was just trying to wedge myself under the weight. So yeah, power jerks didn't go great. They didn't go great, but I really tried my best to not let that affect the hang clean and jerk. And I think I was pretty successful in it. Usually I'm pretty bad at it, so I'll let it affect it, even if I try not to. But the hang clean and jerk definitely sort of served as redemption for this day. Which I talked about it a little bit last week, but at this point, the way I feel on Wednesday and the way I feel on Fridays with the clean and jerk is just so different that even if I have a shitty performance on Wednesday, I know that it's not really indicative of how that following Friday is going to go. And so given that these went well, better than they usually do, I'm thinking, okay, maybe, I don't want to say it's a sure thing that Friday is going to go well, because that's never a good expectation to go in with, to know that it's going to go well, because when I don't meet that expectation for whatever reason or in whatever aspect, it's just going to make it that much more disappointing, even though it didn't need to be. But I guess my point is that these went well, so that gives me more confidence in Friday going well, with 10 pounds heavier than what I did today. And what I did today was 255 for the hang clean and jerk. At this point, definitely after this session, I know that both my ability level in my split jerk and my confidence have overtaken that of, or those of the power jerk. But yeah, I mean, though I will say, though to maybe a little bit lesser of an extent, I was still doing that thing of just sort of wedging myself under, and you can sort of see that like I have space to keep pushing up on the bar, but I'm sort of I guess sort of driven down a little bit, but my arms are locked enough usually to like help me save it, I guess. I think that was probably my best jerk, that 230. I think that was the best jerk I did all of today. And then here with 245, last week I failed 240 and I just didn't attempt it ever again. So I was kind of nervous going into this 245, but yeah, wasn't easy, but it felt pretty solid. So yeah, here's my working sets for my hang cleans. I think I figured out a sort of good three things to think about, or three main things to think about when it comes to the clean. And that's sort of, one is pushing through the whole foot for as long as I can. So like not getting on my toes. And then staying tall, and sort of keeping my, these two sort of go hand in hand as one thing that I think about simultaneously. That one I put a question mark because the elbows were a little weird. Anyways, staying tall and keeping my sort of side profile skinny. And then lastly, pulling my elbows back, which I actually did not do very well on this particular rep. I feel like I didn't pull the bar close enough to me, and then it ended up a little bit forwards, which is why I had to take that step forwards. And then, yeah, that jerk I failed, I was just like, whatever. I didn't let it faze me too much. And then here is my last working set, because I counted that second jerk as a make while I was training. I was like, I'll give myself that. And so I was like, if I have 3 makes, then I will call it a day. And then that served as my last third make. And so yeah, those hang cleans and jerks definitely sort of helped me feel a little bit better about how the power jerks went. But now I know that, like, I mean, unless my power jerk all of a sudden decides to get really good or something out of nowhere, or from, I don't know, working on it a lot more. As of now, I feel like given that my ability level and my confidence is higher with the split jerk, that'll probably end up being my competition split or competition jerk. So with that in mind, I wasn't too phased about the power jerks not going well. I think I would have been more upset if it was the other way around, where my split jerks weren't great, but my power jerks were good. Also, this random ass alarm went off, and I don't know why. Sorry. But yeah, so not too phased, honestly. Like, now I think I'll know how to go in with the right expectations for the power jerk. And I feel like the better I manage my expectations, the better I feel about how my training goes, just in general. But yeah. And then just really briefly about these deadlifts. I wish I could have talked about them while I was doing them, but I sort of rambled. But yeah, one thing I worked on today, or was thinking about today, was like sort of getting my air and like bracing with my hips high when I'm in that position where I'm feeling the extension in my lower back, versus getting my air like when I'm sort of in that deep bottom position, which helped. It certainly helped make it feel easier off the ground, but sometimes it made it feel more like a traditional deadlift where my like weight was more on my heels. But I think it got better as I went. But yeah, that's about it. Today was not bad.